You know that moment when you open the McDonald's bag in your car? The picture on the menu promised a towering burger with a glossy bun and steam rising like something out of a perfume commercial. But what you actually pull out looks like it survived a long car ride in someone's pocket. That's not bad luck. That's the system working exactly as designed. Here's the thing, McDonald's doesn't sell food first. They sell expectations, perfect lighting, fake grill marks, a version of reality that exists only on a menu board. And that gap between what you think you're ordering and what you actually eat, that's where disappointment lives. Today, we're exposing that gap. We're ranking 5 McDonald's items from absolute worst to surprisingly least terrible. Some are calorie traps, some are value scams, and at least one is so bad that nutritionists and customers actually agree on it, which almost never happens. If you eat McDonald's even once a month, this list can save you money, calories, and regret. So smash that subscribe button because we're about to save you from some seriously disappointing meals. Let's start with the worst offender of them all. Number 5. Big Breakfast with Hotcakes McDonald's. Big Breakfast with Hotcakes. Ranked number 5. The absolute worst thing you can order. This isn't breakfast. It's a buffet disguised as a combo meal. The real kicker is what happens when you actually look at the numbers. We're talking around 1,340 calories in a single tray, over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, which is a full day's limit for most people. And get this, it combines pancakes, sausage, eggs, biscuits, and syrup into one massive carb and fat pile that leaves most people sluggish, not satisfied. Here's what makes this so deceptive. McDonald's markets it as the ultimate morning meal. The picture shows a complete breakfast spread that looks like it came from a diner, but what you're actually getting is a nutritional disaster that wipes out your energy before noon even hits. Dietitians regularly list this as one of McDonald's worst menu items due to the extreme calorie and sodium load. You're not fueling your day, you're sabotaging it. Your body has to work overtime to process all that fat and sodium, which is why you feel like taking a nap an hour after eating it. Bottom line, a morning meal that destroys your afternoon is not a meal worth ordering. But if you think breakfast regret is bad, wait until we get to dessert. Number 4. McFlurry with M&Ms. McFlurry with M&Ms. Ranked number 4. This is not dessert. It's a sugar delivery system. Here's the thing about the McFlurry. It looks innocent. It's ice cream with candy mixed in. How bad could it be? Well, the large versions push 900 plus calories. They contain over 100 grams of sugar. That's more calories than many full meals, and more sugar than your body knows what to do with in a single sitting. And get this. The sweetness is so overwhelming that it actually drowns out any actual ice cream flavor. You're not tasting dairy or cream. You're tasting sugar with a side of more sugar. The M&Ms add texture, but they also add another layer of refined sugar and artificial coloring that your body has to process. Dietitians frequently flag this as one of the worst fast food desserts available. The combination of high-fat ice cream base and excessive sugar creates an insulin spike that leaves you feeling tired and hungry again within an hour or two. Your body burns through the sugar fast, then crashes hard. The verdict? It tastes good for 5 minutes, then punishes you for the next 5 hours. And somehow, the next item manages to be worse without even being sweet. Number 3, 20-piece. Chicken McNuggets. 20-piece. Chicken McNuggets. Ranked number 3. The biggest lie here is that this feels like a safe choice. Chicken is healthier than beef, right? Nuggets are smaller than burgers, so they must be better for you, right? Wrong. Around 830 calories, nearly 1,500 milligrams of sodium. Deep-fried, heavily processed meat that's been shaped, breaded, and cooked in oil that's been used hundreds of times. And here's the real problem. The sauce becomes mandatory to mask the dryness. Without it, you're eating cardboard-textured protein that barely tastes like chicken. Nutrition experts routinely describe this portion as a calorie and sodium bomb. 20 pieces sounds like a deal, especially when you're hungry or sharing with someone. But what you're actually doing is consuming almost an entire day's worth of sodium in one sitting. Your kidneys have to work overtime, your blood pressure spikes, and the deep-fried coating means you're also loading up on trans fats and empty calories. Here's what makes this so dangerous. Familiarity. McNuggets have been around since the 80s. They're a nostalgic comfort food for a lot of people. That familiarity makes you think they're harmless. But familiar doesn't mean healthy. Familiar, addictive, quietly destructive. That's the McNugget in a nutshell. If this is already saving you from a bad meal, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. But at least nuggets know what they are. The next item pretends to be premium. Number 2, Grand Mac. Ranked number 2. This proves that bigger doesn't mean better. It means heavier. The Grand Mac was introduced as an upgrade to the Big Mac. More beef, more bun, more sauce. McDonald's positioned it as the burger for people who wanted the Big Mac experience, but supersized. And get this, people actually believed bigger would taste better. Roughly 860 calories, over 50 grams of fat, almost an entire day's sodium allowance. And here's the kicker. The extra bread and sauce actually dilute the beef. Instead of enhancing the burger, the added bulk makes everything mushier, greasier, and harder to eat. The structural integrity falls apart halfway through. You need extra napkins, and you're left with a greasy aftertaste that lingers for hours. Nutrition analysts frequently cite it as one of the most excessive burgers on the menu. The problem isn't that it's large. The problem is that it's poorly balanced. The ratio of bread to meat to sauce is all wrong. You're eating more filler and less actual burger. And because it's so heavy, your stomach struggles to digest it. You feel bloated, sluggish, and uncomfortably full. The verdict? A Big Mac that lost its balance. It's a marketing gimmick dressed up as an improvement. Bigger doesn't equal better. It equals regret. And now, the item that somehow escapes last place, but only barely. Number 1, Filet-O-Fish. Ranked number 1, the least terrible option on this list. Let me be clear, this is not good. It's the least bad. There's a difference. The Filet-O-Fish has a reputation for being one of the most disliked items at McDonald's. Customer surveys show people avoid it. Online reviews roast it. Even McDonald's employees will tell you it's not a popular order. So why is it number 1 on this list? Because it's honest about being mediocre. Here's the thing. The Filet-O-Fish has a lower calorie count than most burgers. No double patties, no overload sauces, no unnecessary bread piled on top. It's a single fish patty, tartar sauce, and half a slice of cheese on a steamed bun. That's it. And while it's criticized for blandness and soggy texture, it's also less damaging to your body than everything else on this list. The tartar sauce often overwhelms the fish, which isn't saying much because the fish itself tastes like frozen cardboard that was microwaved and then left under a heat lamp. The bun gets soggy from the steam. The cheese is barely noticeable, and yet, nutritionally, it's lighter than the other options. You're not overloading on sodium, you're not consuming 1,000+ calories, you're not triggering an insulin crash. Let me give you the actual numbers. A Filet-O-Fish contains about 390 calories. 39 grams of carbs, 19 grams of fat, and 560 milligrams of sodium. Compare that to everything else on this list. It's roughly half the calories of the Big Breakfast, a third of the sugar in the McFlurry, half the sodium of the 20-piece nuggets, and about half the calories and fat of the Grand Mac. Does that make it good? No, but it makes it survivable. And if you're finding this ranking useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Here's the interesting history behind this sandwich. It was created in 1962 by a franchise owner in Cincinnati whose restaurant was in a predominantly Catholic neighborhood. Back then, Catholics didn't eat meat on Fridays, so he needed a non-meat option. The Filet-O-Fish was born out of necessity, not innovation, and that mediocrity has been baked into its DNA ever since. The fish itself is typically Alaskan pollock, a mild white fish that's inexpensive and readily available. It's breaded, frozen, and shipped to restaurants where it's deep fried to order. The result is a fish patty that's hot on the outside and lukewarm on the inside, with a texture somewhere between firm and rubbery. The breading provides crunch, but it also absorbs grease, which is why the sandwich often feels heavy despite being relatively small. The tartar sauce is the only thing with any real flavor. It's tangy, slightly sweet, and mayonnaise-based. Unfortunately, McDonald's tends to over-apply it, which means you're essentially eating a sauce sandwich with a hint of fish. The half slice of cheese, yes, half a slice, adds nothing except confusion. Why not a full slice? Why not no cheese at all? It's one of those McDonald's mysteries that defies explanation. The Filet-O-Fish is forgettable, but less damaging, and that says everything about this list. Let's be honest, none of these items are winning awards. At the bottom, the Big Breakfast with hot cakes, is a calorie avalanche pretending to be comfort. You think you're starting your day strong, but you're actually setting yourself up for an energy crash before lunch. The McFlurry turns dessert into a sugar endurance test that leaves you feeling worse than when you started. The 20-piece nuggets hide a full day's sodium behind nostalgia and childhood memories. And the Grand Mac proves that supersizing flavor doesn't work. It stretches disappointment across more bread. And somehow, the Filet-O-Fish, an item most people forget exists, walks away as the least bad option here. That's the real lesson. The worst McDonald's items aren't the ones that taste terrible. They're the ones that overpromise, overdeliver calories, and underdeliver satisfaction. Menu photos lie. Size doesn't equal value. And sometimes the best fast food choice is the one that doesn't try too hard to impress you. Here's what you need to remember. Fast food is designed to be convenient, not nutritious. The pictures are engineered to make you crave things your body doesn't need. The portion sizes are calculated to maximize profit, not health. And the flavors are crafted in labs to keep you coming back, even when you know better. Does that mean you should never eat McDonald's? No, but it means you should eat it with your eyes open, know what you're getting, understand the trade-offs, and when you do indulge, make it worth it. Don't waste your calories on something that's going to leave you feeling sluggish, bloated, and disappointed. The big breakfast with hotcakes isn't worth sacrificing your entire morning. The McFlurry isn't worth the sugar crash. The 20-piece nuggets aren't worth the sodium overload. The Grand Mac isn't worth the greasy aftertaste. And the Filet-O-Fish? Well, it's not worth much either, but at least it won't destroy your day. Here's another way to think about it. Every meal is a choice. You're choosing what to put in your body. You're choosing how you want to feel for the next few hours. And you're choosing whether to support systems that prioritize profit over nutrition. When you walk into McDonald's, you're walking into a carefully designed environment meant to manipulate your choices, the smells, the colors, the menu layout, the combo deals. Everything is calculated to get you to spend more and eat more. That doesn't make you weak or stupid for eating there. It makes you human. We all crave convenience. We all want something fast and cheap when we're hungry. But awareness is power. Knowing which items are the worst offenders gives you the ability to make better choices within a flawed system. And sometimes the best choice is to skip McDonald's altogether. Pack a lunch, meal prep on Sundays, keep healthy snacks in your car, find local restaurants that actually care about ingredients. There are alternatives. They require more effort, but they also deliver better results. But when you do find yourself in that drive-through lane at 10:30 at night because you're exhausted and hungry and you don't want to cook, at least now you know what to avoid. Skip the big breakfast with hotcakes, skip the McFlurry, skip the 20-piece nuggets, skip the Grand Mac. And if you're desperate for something, maybe the Filet-O-Fish won't ruin your entire evening. Bottom line, regret should never come with fries. Let me know in the comments which McDonald's item on this list surprised you the most. And if you want to make smarter fast food choices, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.